All right, it says that I'm live, so I'm going to get myself ready for this, because today we're going to tap three things: resentment, rejection, and regret. Those are real heavy emotion that just get people really messed up, man. So I'm getting myself ready. Let me get my pole ready. Get my pole activated. And then say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. Here I am today with my my nice little, monkey. This is Stania. This is my little happy monkey, Stania. She keeps me company. Makes me happy. She's going to be here with me to tap. And I know it sounds silly, but I use it with the kids all the time. Which is pretty cool. So today we're going to talk about rejection, resentment, and regret tapping algorithm. So yesterday I learned two new things. Let me just plug myself in here. There you go. And I learned two things about people's core beliefs. And one is that the thymus, which is right over here between the lungs, is one of the main places where emotional energy is stored in the body. And then two, and I'm going to quote, within the construct of DNA is genetic memory that goes back at least 7 generations. And in the morphogenetic field are belief systems that are holding on to information that has been stored by past generations for centuries. Now this comes from a book and is credited to Vianna Stibble from her book Introducing Extraordinary Energy Healing Modality. Now every person has 4 levels of beliefs. You have the core level, genetic level, historic level, and the soul level of core beliefs. Now the genetic level really caught my attention because it means that we are housing rejection, resentment, regret in our bodies, but it's due to it being transferred to our biology from our great, great, great 7th generation deep relatives. Yeah, and it's quite possible that those feelings are roughly 175 years old. That would put that vibe somewhere around, let's say, the 1790s, being that today's 2021. So if you go back about 175 years, that means when our family was feeling these things, genetically, that was transferred in our DNA over time. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? So rejection, resentment, and regret are core beliefs every person has, and we call upon this as an automatic subconscious program. Our brain spends an incredible amount of time on these 3 issues, and if we clear these subconscious programs associated with them, we will free up enough energy in our body to be able to thrive with abundance. So our brain cells, they have neurons and they have all these, fancy names like receptors for our emotions. So regardless whether that emotion is depression or happiness, it is like an addiction to your cells. Once a receptor falls in love with an emotion, it has to have it, just like a drug. So when this happens, trust and love in relationships are broken, and sometimes they never get repaired. So let's talk about those 3. The first one being rejection. And that's a huge one because, people deal with rejection on a daily basis. Rejection can influence a person for most of their life. It can prohibit success and the finding of true love. The fear of rejection can cause them to, fail before they even start something, and to sabotage themselves in everything or something that they do. So clearing the fear of rejection allows a person to live their life. Then we have resentment. Resentment comes with other aspects, which may appear while you're tapping. For example, a person may feel a grudge, an aspect, towards another person, or that person, they resent because the grudge is keeping them safe. The EFT practitioner must guide the client how to live without resenting and to know that they are safe to do so. So this is why we create grudges. We keep ourselves safe from the people that hurt us so that we are not hurt again. And then the last one, regret. Regret can make you ill, okay? Failed relationships, empty marriages, being lonely, not telling someone you love them, etc., can all keep you from getting better. So regret will affect your whole body and your lungs in particular. Now remember that thoughts can and do make people sick when we continue to think and feel and think the same emotion of lack. So today I want to help you tap away the rejection, the resentment, the regret from your life and fill your hearts with elevated emotions of love, gratitude, compassion, and joy. So let's get tapping. So step number 1. Now I like to always start, my clients with a 3-minute meditation called the HAB, H-A-B, Heart Activation Breathing Exercise. And this audio is available for free in my community, Stress Relief for Teachers. Or you can, inbox me on Messenger, and I'd be more than happy to provide that to you. And you want to be able to do this for 3 minutes, focus on your gratitude, and it doesn't have to be anything major. You could be grateful for the air that you're breathing, or the fact that you woke up this morning and, realize that many people didn't wake up. So you focus on your gratitude and you take unforced deep breaths and you pause them and you exhale as you put your hands over your heart. It's a really nice meditation. It's 3 minutes, so ask me for this audio because it's a really nice, gift that I would like to give you. And then once you do this meditation, and now you have your heart regulated and you're in a good state, okay? You go to step number 2, right? And in order for this technique to be effective, you must first identify the specific emotion you have. It has to be specific. You expose your mind to the memory of the emotional trauma. And once you do that, this is your first rating. You're going to rate that, the degree of intensity, on a scale of -10 to 0. And you're going to write that down. This is your first benchmark. Where -10 is really bad, 0 is a smile on your face. It really is. And then, of course, +10, all the way on the other side of the scale, is your superpowers. So this is the SUE scale, S-U-E, is the subjective units of experience scale. So let's eliminate your emotional blocks and get you feeling awesome. So we want to start off with round number 1. In round number 1, you want to repeat the setup statement 3 times and completely, just keep tapping on your karate chop point, as you repeat these statements 3 times. So, for example, you want to say, even though I feel, and then you want to name the specific emotional trauma that you're dealing with. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. For example, even though I feel resentment towards my father, I feel treated unfairly. He put me down a lot. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you repeat that phrase 3 times as you continue to tap about 30 taps on your karate chop point right here, on the fleshy part of the meat. And this sets you up, in a very good way to go to round 2 and continue to tap. Now, you're going to continue to tap now 8 meridian points. And you're going to start with the top of the head. And I like to tell my clients that, you can use these 2 fingers. Some people like to use 4. I like to use 2. But either way is okay. And you want to start tapping on the top of your head. And you're going to tap a minimum of 7 times as you repeat a reminder phrase. So your reminder phrase for this example would be, I've been resentful so many times. I feel treated unfairly. I feel worthless if my father doesn't love me. I feel put down. I feel left out. I feel pushed away. I feel alone. I need my father's love. Now you want to take an unforced deep breath. And you want to pause it. And you want to start letting go. And now you're going to take a second reading. Take a second reading. You know, this is going to start to show you how you are improving and letting this go because you love and accept yourself. You are affirming and accepting what is happening, what you feel. It's valid. So you want to go ahead and write it down. And now you have 2 benchmarks. And then you're going to continue to round number 3. And you're going to repeat the setup statement again. Okay, as you tap your karate chop point. And now you're going to say, even though I feel out in the cold, I just want to love. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And now we move on to round number 4. Top of the head. I keep getting let down from all this resentment. This pain cuts me deep. It is painful. All this hurt, not being heard. Unrealistic expectations of me. Nothing I do is good enough. And now you want to tap around your thymus. Your thymus is located right here between your lungs. You want to tap around your thymus and take a deep, unforced breath. And then pause and let it out. And now you want to continue to tap round number 5. And you start at the top of your head. I release the heavy burden of resentment. The past is over and I focus on living in the now. I release all criticisms towards myself and forgive. I release damaging patterns of thought and behavior. I am at peace with myself. Self-hatred does not serve me. I treat myself with respect and kindness from today forward. Self-forgiveness is a gift of freedom that I give myself. And then you want to tap your thymus area again. You want to take that unforced deep breath right from the diaphragm. And you want to pause it and then let it out slowly. And now you want to take your 3rd rating. And you write that down. And at this point, you should see some progress happening, okay, as you're starting to feel better. When you tune in to this particular resentment feeling that, had you feeling all congested and hurting, you should be feeling much, much better. And as you feel better, okay, you can start to do another round. If you still feel a heavy burden, listen to what your subconscious is telling you. It may be bringing up another aspect. Like I had mentioned earlier, resentment could bring up grudging, or it can bring up anger, or it can bring up another aspect, another emotion. So you write those down. You want to be able to observe that, so that when you're done doing your tapping round and you bring yourself down to at least a -2, because your goal is to bring it down to 0. Then you can focus on that again tomorrow, maybe later on in the day. So the session ends after your 3rd rating, and take a few minutes to listen to your heart. Observe how you feel. Relax. Write those down. Any thoughts that come up to you, write them down. If any new aspects arise, make time for emotional care for the next day. And hydrate and focus on your energy around you as you attract positivity. So, love and energy to everybody. When doing EFT tapping on your own, if you are unable to completely heal the issue you're working on, I recommend working with an experienced EFT practitioner. If you decide that this is the best course of action for you and you'd like to work with me, come visit me at Stress Relief for Teachers on Facebook, or you can inbox me. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. and answer your questions. The emotional freedom techniques that I cover with people are anxiety, anger, physical pain, phobia, self-sabotage, and that's just to name a few. The goal of EFT tapping is to give people the mindset, the skills, the techniques of mastering their lives so that they can take charge and fill their lives with health, wealth, and abundance. And there's a lot that goes on underneath that umbrella. So, whatever you want to manifest in positivity, you can, because we are pretty much supernatural beings. So I help 10 people a month for free, in my 5-day workshop. Everything else is a paid service, okay? So ask for your rejection, resentment, or regret algorithm PDF today, and I'd be more than happy to send that to you for free. Thank you so much for listening. If you know somebody who can benefit from this tapping algorithm, point them in my direction. Allow me to help them out, help somebody out too. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to answering your questions. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.